Hi everyone, I'm Naila. Welcome back to another story. The full version is already available on my Patreon. Link in the description if you want early access. I pulled off my mask. The ballroom erupted in laughter and gasps as everyone revealed themselves simultaneously. Devon removed his phantom mask, and even in the chaos, his eyes never left my face. He stared at me. Really stared. And I watched, heart-shattering, as recognition slowly dawned. Marcus, he whispered. Marcus Chen? The use of my old name felt like a slap, but I forced myself to stay steady. Actually, I said, voice trembling but clear, I go by Luna now. Or I want to. I'm still figuring it out. His expression cycled through shock, confusion, and something I couldn't quite name. Around us, people were hugging, laughing, and introducing themselves. No one was paying attention to us. No one except my father, who had turned at the sound of my voice. Our eyes met across the ballroom. I watched his face drain of color. I watched him see the gown, the makeup, the way I held Devon's hand. Watched 26 years of expectations crumble in real time. He started pushing through the crowd toward me. I have to go, I said to Devon, panic rising. I'm sorry, Wait. His grip tightened on my hand. Just wait. Please. Devon, you don't understand. I'm trying to. His eyes searched mine desperately. You're the person I danced with tonight, right? The person who understood about teaching, about living a lie, about being brave? Yes, but then nothing else matters. He pulled me closer as my father approached. I meant what I said. I want to know the real you. And if this, he gestured to my gown, if she is the real you, then that's who I want to know. My father arrived like a thunderstorm. Marcus. Office. No. No, I said, surprised by the steadiness in my voice. His eyes widened. Excuse me? I said no, Dad. I straightened my spine, feeling the gown's fabric catch the light. I'm not leaving. I'm not pretending anymore. And my name is Luna. This is ridiculous. You're making a spectacle of yourself. Good. The word came out stronger than I expected. Maybe I need to be a spectacle. Maybe I've been invisible for too long. People were starting to notice now. Conversations are quiet. Heads turning. Nadia appeared at my elbow, magnificent in her phoenix costume. Is there a problem here? Nadia, my father said through gritted teeth. This is a family matter. Actually, she replied coolly, this is my party. And Luna is my guest. If she wants to stay, she stays. My father's face went purple. Luna? Her name is Marcus, and he is my son. I'm your child, I corrected quietly. But I've never been your son. I've just been too afraid to say it until tonight. The words hung in the air like a declaration of war. My father stared at me, and for a moment, I thought I saw something crack in his expression, hurt, maybe, or fear. But then his walls slammed back up. If you walk away from the company, he said coldly, if you continue with this delusion, you're on your own. No more apartments, no more jobs, no more support. Do you understand? It should have terrified me. Instead, I felt something close to relief. I understand, I said. And I accept. He turned and walked away without another word. I watched him disappear into the crowd, and something in my chest loosened. A weight I'd carried for so long I'd forgotten it was there. Luna? Devon's voice was soft. Are you okay? I turned to him, tears streaming down my face, ruining what was left of my makeup. I have no idea. I just lost my father, my job, my entire life. I'm wearing a magical dress that I have to return at dawn, and I still don't know what happens next or how any of this works, but... but for the first time ever, I feel like I can breathe. He smiled, and it was the warmest thing I'd ever seen. Then breathe. Everything else, we'll figure out. If you want. He brushed a tear from my cheek. Full disclosure, I have no idea what I'm doing either. I've always dated women, but I've never, you know what, I'm going to stop talking before I say something stupid. I laughed through my tears. You're doing fine. Am I? He looked genuinely worried. Because I really like you, Luna. I liked you when I thought you were a mysterious stranger, and I like you now that I know you're my old college friend who's been hiding the most important part of herself. Is that okay? Am I allowed to still like you? I don't know the rules either, I admitted. I've spent the last few hours feeling more alive than I've ever felt, and I'm terrified it's all going to disappear. Nadia cleared her throat. Hate to interrupt this moment, but Luna? There's someone who wants to see you. She gestured toward the garden doors, where the woman from the costume shop stood waiting, her mirror-shard gown reflecting the ballroom's lights. I excused myself from Devon and made my way through the crowd. People smiled at me as I passed, genuine smiles, not polite masks. Several women complimented my gown. One older lady in a Queen Elizabeth costume squeezed my hand and whispered, "Brave girl." The woman waited in the garden, standing beside the fountain where I'd had my breakdown earlier. You made your choice, she said as I approached. It wasn't a question. I did. And? Regrets? I thought about it honestly. Ask me again in a month when reality sets in. Right now? No. I'm terrified, but I don't regret it. She smiled. Good. Because here's what happens next. She produced a card from thin air and handed it to me. That's the address of a support group. People like you, figuring out who they are. They meet on Thursdays. People like me? Trans folks. Questioning folks. People are brave enough to choose themselves over comfortable lies. Her storm cloud eyes softened. You're not alone in this, Luna. You never were. I stared at the card, vision blurring with fresh tears. The gown, do I really have to return it? The gown served its purpose. It gave you permission to be honest. She reached out and touched the fabric gently. But you don't need it anymore. The magic was never in the dress. It was in you, waiting for the courage to emerge. As she spoke, the gown began to shimmer more intensely. The warmth I'd felt all evening concentrated into a single point over my heart, then burst outward like a star going nova. When the light faded, I was wearing the clothes I'd arrived in, jeans and a button-down shirt that suddenly felt all wrong. But I didn't feel like Marcus anymore. I felt like Luna in borrowed clothes. What do I do now? I asked. The woman began walking away, her mirror gown fracturing the moonlight. You live, Luna. Honestly and bravely. You find your people. You build a life that fits. And someday, when you're ready, you help someone else find their courage. Wait! I called after her. What's your name? How do I find you again? She paused at the garden gate and looked back, smiling. You already know my name, dear. Everyone who's ever stood at a crossroads knows it. And then she was gone, leaving only the scent of jasmine and the distant sound of the masquerade continuing inside. I stood there for a long moment, processing everything. Then I felt a presence behind me. Devon had followed me out. She's gone, I said without turning around. I noticed. He came to stand beside me. Want to tell me what just happened? Because I'm pretty sure I just watched your dress turn into regular clothes through some kind of Disney magic. I laughed shakily. Would you believe me if I said I have no idea how to explain any of this? Given the night we've had? Yeah, I'd believe just about anything. He hesitated. Can I ask you something? Sure. Earlier, when you were wearing the gown, did you feel like you were pretending? Or did you feel like yourself? The question cut right to the heart of everything. I said slowly, like I was myself for the first time. Like I'd been wearing a costume my whole life, and the gown let me take it off. He nodded, processing. Then that's the person I want to get to know. Not Marcus the corporate drone. Luna. The real you. Even though I have no idea what I'm doing? Even though my life just imploded and I'm probably going to be a disaster for the foreseeable future? Especially then. He offered his hand. How about we figure it out together? Two disasters supporting each other? I looked at his hand, then at his face, open, hopeful, scared but trying anyway. I took his hand. Deal, I said. But fair warning, I'm going to need time. To figure out everything. Transition stuff, if that's what this is. Finding a new job. Finding myself. It's going to be messy. Life's messy, he said simply. But I've got a feeling you're worth the mess. We walked back toward the mansion together, the masquerade still going strong inside. Hey Luna. Devin said as we reached the doors. Yeah. For what it's worth. I think you're the bravest person I've ever met. I squeezed his hand and didn't let go. The coffee shop near the university was warm and bustling with afternoon energy. I sat in my usual corner booth, laptop open, working on my application essays for graduate programs in social work. Luna Chen. The name on all my documents now. Legal, official, real. The past 6 months have been the hardest of my life. Coming out to friends. Starting therapy. Beginning hormone replacement therapy. Job hunting while trans. Navigating a world that suddenly saw me completely differently. My father still wasn't speaking to me. But my mother called every Sunday. My sister helped me build a new wardrobe. And the Thursday support group from the card had become my lifeline, people who understood, who'd walked this path, who reminded me I wasn't alone. The bell above the door chimed, and Devin walked in, still wearing his teaching assistant lanyard from the history department. He'd quit his father's company 3 months ago. We'd both chosen ourselves, and somehow, we'd found each other in the aftermath. He slid into the booth across from me, grinning. Guess what just happened? What? Professor Martinez asked me to guest lecture next week. On the French Revolution. It's actually happening, Luna. I'm actually teaching. His joy was infectious. That's amazing. We should celebrate. Already planned. Nadia's having another party next week, not a masquerade this time, just a regular party. She wants us to come. I smiled, remembering that fateful night 6 months ago. No masks required? No masks required, he confirmed. Then his expression grew more serious. How are you doing? Really? I closed my laptop and thought about it. About the dysphoria that still hit sometimes. About the strangers who misgendered me. About the long road still ahead. But I also thought about waking up each morning and recognizing the person in the mirror. About choosing my own clothes, my own name, my own life. About being seen, truly seen, for the first time. I'm good, I said honestly. Really good. Scared sometimes, still figuring it out, but good. Yeah. Yeah. Devin reached across the table and took my hand, and I let him, no hesitation, no shame, just two people choosing each other every day. Outside the window, the autumn leaves were falling, making way for new growth. Everything was changing, and for once, I wasn't afraid of the transformation. I was embracing it. Because the magic was never in the costume. It was in the courage to take it off. Sometimes the masks we wear reveal more than they hide. Sometimes the person we're pretending to be is actually who we've always been. And sometimes, one magical night is all it takes to find the courage to become ourselves. This is Luna's story. But it could be anyone's. The invitation is always there, waiting. The only question is, are you brave enough to accept it? Thank you so much for watching. The complete story is already available on my Patreon. Link in the description if you want early access and more. Don't forget to like and subscribe.